What's up, trainers? I'm Poke Dad, and I got your meta forecast for Toronto Regionals right now. Hey, trainers, what's up? Poke Dad here, and without the dancing bear, as you can see, but we'll be all right. I think we can manage. What I got for you today is the meta forecast, and with help with the dancing bears, meta forecast prediction for Toronto, and I don't see it changing too much to go into Greensboro after Toronto, but Toronto is definitely be kind of chaotic, so to speak, because with the Lucamine and Delinquent getting banned, that kind of eliminates Zorotoad. Okay, you can't just sit there and just do 10, 30 damage, each turn to try to lock out your opponent. That's not going to work. In my opinion, I don't think that's going to work. Then you have the Delinquent red card, Ace Trainer, Marshadow kind of deck, Exodia that the Dancing Bear played. It's not going to be playable. No more Delinquent, no more Lucamine. So the whole strategy behind that deck goes away. So I would eliminate those two, and those were probably two of the most popular. So we have to look forward. Plus we have the new set that's going to be legal for this expanded tournament. So I've got a couple picks. I've got 5. We can go through them. Starting out with number 5, we've got Trevenant. And I apologize, they are in black and white. I will try to zoom in on each one. And disclaimer, these deck lists are in no way dialed in. Okay? So don't sleeve these bad boys up, fill out your deck list, and think that you're going to do good, because they are completely untested. They are the starting point me and Caden would start with. Okay? So let me make that clear. And we're usually on the side of the fence of super consistent versus super techie. We'd rather make it super consistent, make sure it works, make sure it functions, and then from there we dial it into what techs are needed for the matchups. So the reason why I think Trevenant's going to be good is you got Gengar now legal. So turn 1, yeah, you could do Phantom in the item lock, but it might be more potent to hit them with Horror House. And then they can't evolve to their Zoroarks or anything like that on turn 2, and that gives you a little more time to set up. So something to think about there. It's just a theory. It's no way tested, once again. So I feel like I need to say that so you don't tell you, oh, Poke Dad said that this deck is awesome. It's just a concept, okay? But turn 1, get this big guy in the active, use Horror House GX. They can't do anything. Then you go into your Trevenant. You have time to set up. All that sounds pretty good. You could disrupt their hand in the process. You could throw a Marshadow in here. You got the Ditto. Gives you a 5th Phantom. That's pretty sweet. 2 Tapu Lele, Muck, just in case Jirachi, I don't see Jirachi being a problem in expanded, but just in case. And then Comp Search, a couple counter catchers, 3 E-Hammers, 4 Mysterious Treasure, Super Odd, couple Ultra Ball, 4 VS, 4 Dimension Valley, then Ace Trainer. Ace Trainer's super good on turn 1, especially if you can hit them with the Ace Trainer and the Gengar, that could be pretty good. So, but that's assuming that they have less prizes than you. So, you might have to do the GX attack later in the game. So, something to think about. It's a good recovery if you get behind, hit them with the Ace Trainer, and then hit them with the Gengar's GX attack. So, I think Gengar brings a lot to this table. He is a liability with the dark weakness, but there's definitely ways you could play around that. You could get rid of, if you don't like the Ultra Ball, put in some weakness policies. If you don't like the Faba, there's your third weakness policy. So, something to think about. 1 Bridget, 1 Faba, 1 Guzma, 4 In, because you are going to be going behind in prizes more than likely. 3 Juniper, 4 Rescue Scarf, and then 4 Mystery Energy and 4 regular. So, if you're feeling like Gengar's too much of a liability, take out the Ultra Balls, take out the Faba. There's your 3 weakness policies. So, but this is my number 5th pick. Okay. Item lock's always good, so I mean it's never going to be bad to sleeve up item lock. So, number 4. I went back and forth on should I put this number 4 or number 3. It's really good. You got the Baby Buzz, Diancie, Hitmonchan, Hit and Run. So it's better than Donphan because it takes less setup. It just has less HP. But really, I mean, you're only worried about Trevenant, and Donphan loses to Trevenant anyways. So you're definitely okay, and you could play Focus Sash in here too if you wanted to. What I really like is Landorus. He's resistant to the lightning. So the Zekrom decks are going to take massive damage from Hammerhead, but also it takes more for them to one-shot him. So, because they have to go 150 and not just Choice Band or 1 Electric Power. They have to have another Electric Power. And then we play Acerola, so we can heal Lando and put him back up in the active. And we've got the Wobbuffet that we can send up right here. Perfect against Zoroark decks and Blastoise decks. Kind of gives them a... it just kind of irritates them. They have to get around it to use their Deluge ability, so... Then a Marshadow for some disruption. Shuckle, he's good to stick up in the active against the Zoroark decks because there's no Hex Maniac. And I don't see Zorogarb being very popular. So Protective Shell could put in the work. And he's 1 retreat cost, but it don't matter, we have Float Stone. So something to think about. And then you also have Scoop Up Cyclone, so you can get Landorus out of the active. So I think it's pretty good. Got your E-Hammer, got some techs, a Rescue Stretcher, Robo Sub, 4 VS, 3 Shrines. That's pretty good. Shrine's important because you can hit 30, Strong Energy 50, Choice Band 80, Diancie 100. So you're hitting Zekrom for 200 right there, and then Shrine gets some extra poke damage on there. So could be good. Then of course Sledgehammer is always just a one-shot. So got your teammates, got 2 Junipers, definitely 4 Karina, a nice 1 of Tech Colress. It's too good not to play. 4 Floatstone, 4 Fighting. I feel like that's about everything. The only thing I would look at is how much value the Robosubs bring into the table, and possibly the Marshadow, and then there's maybe some Focus Sash. So that could be definitely good to Focus Sash up Landorus. Then the Zekroms are going to have that many more problems. Then you just Ace roll him up, put him back. So that sounds pretty sweet to me. So something to think about. Focus Sash could fit in really nicely in this deck. Number 3. Zoroark. Not Zoroark. I like Lucario, and that's with the assumption that Zekrom is going to be the most popular. So I think this is the best counter to it. So you got your Ditto, a couple Shaman, 4/4. It's still a Zoroark deck. You still play Skyfield, but you have a nice 2/2 tech of Lucario. Got your Widow for a mirror match because Zoroark will be popular. Then a couple Execute, 3 Lele. Let's expand this out. Like Dowsing Machine in this style of deck. A couple Nest Balls, Rescue Stretcher, 4 Ultra, 4 VS, 1 Parallel, 3 Skyfield, Acerola, 2 Bridget, 3 Colress, 1 Guzma, 2 N, 2 Juniper, 1 Teammates, 3 Choice Band, 1 Floatstone, 3 Fighting, or excuse me, 3 Strong, 4 DC. Changes that you would make if you don't like the parallel, get rid of it. If you don't like the 3rd Choice Band, if you don't feel like you're gonna have prizing issues with the Bridget, get rid of that. That's about it. I mean, if you make those changes, then you could fit a 2-2 Lycanroc line in here if you wanted to. By cutting the parallel, cutting a Bridget, cutting a Choice Band, and then if you want to cut one of the ends maybe. So there's your 2-2 or the 3rd Colress. So there's room for Lycanroc if you want to fit it in here. But I like just going hard, Lucario, hitting them, getting 3 prizes. So, something to think about. Now these aren't, let me kind of rewind. These aren't in order of what I think is the strongest. It's kind of in order of what I think would be most popular. Okay. So, second most popular, Blastoise. 2 Shaman, 2 Eggs, 2 Lele, 1 Articuno, because I'll talk about it later. I think there might be an uptick of Vespiquen decks, Night March decks, and then the Hitmonchan decks. Articuno is pretty gosh darn good against all 3 of those. So it's a nice one of tech, possibly 2. Then you got your Wailord, which is awesome. That kind of deals with Vespiquen and stuff like that. For the most part, they can still one-shot you fairly easy. But it could be nice to just wipe their bench if you see an opportunity. Volcanion, he's nice to do that 20 damage to work out the numbers, especially against a lot of Shamans on the bench. So he's too good not to play. Plus it's a switching effect. So, and then of course you got your Blastoise with Deluge. Attach as many water as you want. Now let's talk about this will be the, I'm guessing the 2nd most popular deck. So you need a way to counter this, okay? You have 2 options. Well, I think 2 options. Number 1 is Lugia GX. Use the Lost Purge, especially if they load up a ton of energy on Wailord. Use this Lost Purge GX and just move everything to the Lost Zone. If they have like 6 waters or 5 waters, that's half their waters. Plus you remove their attacker. So perfect in a mirror match. The second tech that's not too good, but it still could get the job done, is Articuno GX with Cold Crush. They can still get it back with superior energy retrieval, so I'm not a fan of this one. I like the Lugia better in the mirror match. So keep that in mind. Let's look at the trainers real quick. Everything's pretty basic. You got your 4 battle compressors, Comp Search, 4 Order Pad, 4 Superior, 4 Trainer's Mail, 4 Ultra, 4 VS. New addition, Viridian Forest. It helps with the turn 1 Archies. Not that it needed help, but this definitely makes it almost 100% of the time consistent. So definitely play that. In the past, you would play the Healing Water energy, or Healing Water Rough Seas, stuff like that. So, or Choice Band. That's something you'll notice. There's no Choice Band in this deck. So, which that could be a bad thing because you're only hitting 180. So that might be something to think about here. 1 Acerola, 2 Archies, 1 Faba, 1 Fisherman, 1 Guzma, 1 N, 2 Juniper, 11. So definitely probably take out the Faba and maybe 1 Order Pad or 1 Juniper, I think. Maybe 1 Order Pad. And then we're going to add in Choice Band. There we go. That looks good. 2 choice band. Perfect. Second most popular deck right here, easily. We'll save it. Whatever. Stop. All right, number one. Number one. Zekrom Pikachu. Folks, it's legit. It's going to be absolutely everywhere. It's everywhere in standard, and it only gets that much better and expanded. You got max elixirs, trainer's mails, if you want to go that route, eels for mid-game acceleration. It's so good. It really is. So you got your 2 Shaman, awesome to just dig. Got your Rayquaza once again, get that energy out so you can get the turn 1 full blitz right there. 3 of these bad boys. Then I have a 2/2 Eels. And in the past, I've had trouble kind of resetting. Maybe they knock out your big 6 energy Zekrom, right? And then you kind of have trouble repowering up. So Eels can definitely help that. If I didn't like the Eels route, I would definitely just go for Trainer's Mail probably. So something to think about. I have not tested it. Some of the viewers have taken this list and are testing it. So this is just like my skeleton of where I would start. I would start with the Eels. If I'm not getting value out of the Eels, then they immediately come out for Trainer's Mail. So something to think about. 2 Yellow Monkeys for free retreat. Then a couple Lele. I like the Battle Compressor in conjunction with the Eels, but it's also nice to for sure get energy with Rayquaza. So something to think about. Comp Search is beautiful in this deck. 4 Electro Power, 4 Energy Switch, 4 Max Elixir, 2 Nest Balls, 4 Ultra, 4 VS, Thunder Mountain, 2 Colress, 2 Guzma, 1 In, 3 Sycamore, 2 Choice Band, and then 11 Lightning. So, changes, I think just the Eels for Trainer's Mail if you want. Nest Ball may not be needed. Battle Compressor probably not needed. So, I mean, there's some changes that you can make to definitely play around with the list, but it's going to be really good, folks. And so if you're not prepared to counter this or to play mirror matches, then you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have a rough day. So now I don't have them, but honorable mentions is Vespiquen variants, Vespiquen Flareon. The other one is Night March. Get your Marshadow. You can one-shot the Zekroms really easily. And it has pretty decent matchups across the board. It always struggles against item lock. So, I mean, if Trevenant's not that popular and Zorotoad with Karen's not popular, that door opens up for these one prize attack decks, you know, Vespiquen and Night March. So definitely something you need to keep on the radar. Of those two, Night March will for sure be more popular because it's easier to play. The Vespiquen deck is better, but it's more difficult to play, in my opinion. Having played both of them, Dancing Bear usually doesn't play those style of decks. I do. I don't really like Night March, but I like Vespiquen. Vespiquen is very, very difficult to just pick up and play. Night March, you can pick it up and it just kind of autopilots. I know that sounds bad. There's more, obviously, into the matchups and stuff like that, but from my experience, I mean, Battle Compress 3 Lampents, Battle Compress 3 whatever that you're not going to need as attackers, then go in your Joltix, you know? So, your Pumpkaboos or whatever. So, I would still keep those two decks on the radar if you're not planning on playing them. So, what to play? I like the Hitmonchan. If Zekrom's going to be everywhere, then I want to have the best matchup possible against that deck, and that's either Zoroark Lucario or Hitmonchan. So I would honestly take one of those two, and I would test the Hitmonchan versus the Zoro Rock or Zoro Cario and see if I like that matchup. I would just accept the fact that I'm just going to get obliterated by Wailord, and I would focus on Zekrom, Zoro Cario, Zoro Rock. I would focus on those matchups. So that's all I got. So hopefully you got some value out of this. And until next time, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.